we really going to miss when we lose the third generation Tacoma? When we pick up the next generation, the fourth generation, the 2024 Toyota Tacoma? You know, I'm going to jump in here. We're going to take a ride. I think there are a few things that we're going to miss about this truck. First of all, it's freezing out here. That's right. It's in the 40s and I'm cold. Let's start it up, get some heat going in here. This is the one time where, you know, it really would be nice to have some heated seats or something. I mean, that would be pretty comfy. But I don't have that. But I do have automatic heat control or climate control or whatever. So that's kind of cool. Let's back out of here, make sure we don't run into anything. It's tight quarters here. And those side mirrors, those little side mirrors, you know, I posted a short video about those the other day. I can see what I'm up against down by the tires and stuff. I had somebody comment on the channel about, well, you should just learn how to drive. And if you can't do it without those mirrors, you shouldn't be driving. Okay. Crazy comments you get, right? I would think anything that makes it better so that you don't bump into somebody when you're out driving or tear up your wheels and tires would be a good thing, but I don't know. You know how it is, right? So anyway, there are really about 6 things I think that we're going to lose, that we're going to miss in going with this 2024 Tacoma. Number 1, the reliability, peace of mind. You know, when you buy a Toyota Tacoma now, you know that you're going to get a solidly built truck that's going to last, that isn't going to have any problems. And frankly, it's an unknown. We don't know what this new truck is going to be because it's a new truck. It's redesigned, rebuilt. Everything is new in it from the ground up for the most part. I mean, I can't believe that Toyota is putting everything new in this truck. I mean, there's always going to be, you know, carryovers from things before, so I don't believe that every little piece is brand new. But anyway, we're not going to know. Is it going to last as long? And that's been one of the big arguments against the 4-cylinder turbo, is that the turbos don't last very long. If you get 100,000 miles out of them, you're going to be lucky. It's the end of an era, the end of the, you know, 300, 500,000 mile Tacomas. We don't know. Number 2, short-term personalization. Now, this might not be a big one for everybody. I know not everybody that buys a Toyota Tacoma is big into modding and personalizing it. You know, they just buy them and drive them and enjoy them, and that's really it. But for a vast number of us, and there are a lot of us out there, I know, we're not going to be able to do as much stuff with it as we normally would, as we could have with the previous generation, because frankly, it's going to take a little bit of time for the aftermarketers to get everything together. Now, I do know they've been meeting and taking measurements and things like that to kind of get a jump on the new Tacoma that's coming. But still, there's going to be a lag. And I think at first, if you're going to buy parts, mods and things for the new truck, it's going to be relatively expensive because those R&D costs are going to be put in up front, and there's not going to be a huge selection, you know, to pick from. You're not going to be able to go out and buy maybe cheaper or knockoff parts like we can right now with the truck. So it's going to limit what we can do with it, at least initially. Now, the Tacoma market, if it continues, is so large for aftermarket stuff that I'm sure it's going to catch up relatively quickly, but I still see about a year or 2 lag before we really have the kind of choices that we have right now. Next up, number 3, the money that we're going to have to part with to buy this truck. I mean, forget about aftermarket or premium adjustments, market adjustments, whatever the dealerships want to call them. The truck itself is more money, anywhere from, I think it's $3,000 up. It just depends on the trim level that you get, the options that you get, and things like that. And of course, remembering the aftermarket premiums or the market adjustments, those are going to be running rampant, I think, when these trucks first come out. You know that dealerships dealerships are going to be adding fees and costs to the truck because they can, because there are people out there that are going to pay for it no matter what. And I know the big idea on the channel has been, well, just don't buy them, boycott Toyota. Well, come on, that's never going to happen. Have you ever seen a big group of people try to get a big group of people to do anything? We can't get a vast number of people to agree on anything. So there's no way that's going to happen. People are going to buy them. They're going to buy them no matter what. And if you want one, you're going to pay those fees. It's just the way it is. Number 4, the simplicity and familiarity with the Toyota Tacoma. You know, for years now, we've basically had the same truck. Toyota tweaks it a little bit here or there. They'll add some aesthetic changes to it, maybe a different sound system, maybe add power adjustable seats, things like that, which they've done over the years. But generally, the operation and use of the truck has been the same. There haven't been any big changes where you jump in and think, gee, how do I turn the radio on? Or how do I put it into 4-wheel drive? Or even, how do I open the center console? You know, it's all going to be different. We're not going to have that same warm, fuzzy, at-home feeling that we've had for years now when we've switched out to a different Tacoma, even if it's been a different trim level, a different model, because generally, basically, they're all the same. That's going to be a bit of a drag. It can be exciting, but, you know, when you're not feeling like you want to do any exploring, you just want to know where things are, it's not going to be that way with this new truck. There's going to be a learning curve, in other words. Number 5, camaraderie. There is a huge level of camaraderie, I think, out there with the Toyota Tacoma, primarily because every model is relatively the same. I mean, we're all basically driving the same truck. So we all have this bond, right? That's going to be shattered with the new truck. We're going to have 2 different classes of Tacomas. We're going to have the people that have the 3rd generations, and then we're going to have the new group, the people that are buying the 4th generation Tacoma. It's going to create some separation. Hopefully it won't splinter the feeling that we have that we're all part of the same community. I don't think it will in the long run. But I do think in the short run, there's going to be a bit of a division. It's not going to feel the same once this new redesigned truck is out there on the road. Now, if you don't care about that, you probably won't notice. It won't matter until you pull up next to this new truck and maybe feel like the one you have just isn't as good as what it was before. Or maybe the person sitting there in that 2024 with their 4-cylinder turbo will think, gee, you know, maybe I made a mistake and I should have kept the 3rd generation, the one that I had before. Lastly, trust. And this relates to the first thing that I mentioned, reliability, peace of mind. Are you really going to have the trust that you have in the current Tacoma in the new one? I don't think so. I think for a while, until it proves itself, you might always be looking for something, you know, the weirdest little noise, the strangest feel, a little rattle that you might notice in the truck. And that's one thing about the Tacoma that's been really solid over the years. You know, if you listen, you guys are right in here with me, I don't hear any weird sounds. There's no vibrating or rattling or anything crazy like that. Are the new pieces of the 2024 going to fit together as well as this does? Is it going to have weird, strange noises, rattles, sounds? I hope not. I mean, I'm rooting for the 2024 Tacoma. I love the Tacoma. I love the community. And I hope it proves itself to be everything that the current gen is. But we're not going to know that for several years. Maybe as many as 5 to 10 till we get to the next redesign. Who knows? Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about that a little bit. You know, I think there are a lot of things that we're going to miss once we go to the 2024 Tacoma, once the 3rd generation finally is gone, or maybe you just decide that, yeah, you do want to give it a try, and you go ahead and bite the bullet and go ahead and pick up one of these new trucks. Leave a comment. Let me know. What would you miss about your current third-gen Tacoma if you went to the 2024? I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.